always like that airplane sound. It just feels like moving forward. So the video today, don't base what's possible for your future on what you've done in the past. It's like really a video about overthinking and making gods out of your future and gods out of your past and gods out of many other things that we'll go into. Basically, the thing is, like, so many people have this addiction, this compulsion to thinking. I don't even think that they realize that it's a bad thing. I think a lot of people equate not thinking to more of a bad thing. They equate it to sleep. But I equate overthinking almost like over drinking. It's like you're getting intoxicated to this addictive substance. And it wants your attention. You know, these thoughts have energy behind them. They're entities. They want to grow just like anything else. So they're temptuous. You know what I mean? They want you to partake in them, basically. They want you to feed them. They want to be fed and they want to grow. And that is a motive. You know what I mean? It's almost like some thoughts have an agenda. If you really sit back and kind of think about, like, why am I thinking about that so much? You know what I mean? Where did that maybe come from? How was that programmed? Like, what's behind that? And we have all these thoughts, and in so many ways they can limit us. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, like, how to not be limited by that. People will say, like, you know, in any given situation, it's like, what is the best thing that I should do right now? And they'll calculate that answer, right? They'll look at what they've done and say, oh, well, when I did this, that was successful. Maybe I should do that. And even when I say that, that sounds like a good thought process right there. It sounds like a productive, you know what I mean, way to figure that out. But really the best thing that you can do is just be present. Just be completely present. You're thinking, we think so much about our future and past. It's like we should really only be taking small visits to our future and past and live in the present. But almost everyone does the opposite. They take small visits only to the present. And it's just really calm in the moment. And I know you think that you'll be able to come up with the best solution by thinking about it, but you'll really be able to come up with the best solution just by feeling it. And what I mean by that is, like, think about the feeling that you want to capture. Whether it's like, oh, I want to have, you know, this kind of life where I get this kind of love, or this kind of bread, or this kind of career. Whatever it is. Or I want to inspire people. I want to make a difference. Whatever it is, whatever your specific, real, deep-rooted desire is. And I don't mean desire like in a bad way. Or like your direction. That you know that it's right for you to want to travel in. Once you have that, you just need to really kind of sit with that and feel that. Like, feel how good that would feel. A practice you could do is, like, looking back maybe to your, like, 16-year-old self, or, like, you know, however many years ago self, and, like, think about what areas you have improved in, to where if you were to go back and, like, shake hands with that 16-year-old self, he would be so inspired. Like, think about when and where and what areas you've done that. And then think about doing that with 5 years from now yourself, right? That's accomplished these things that you just have as thoughts in your mind, like you just have as goals now. Think about that guy or girl or whatever it is, like, that has exactly what you just think about now. Because you've already probably done it at least some way. You know what I mean? For the past 5 years. Maybe even something that you didn't even think you could do. I'm sitting out here in LA. I know that doesn't mean that much to a lot of people everyone is from LA, but that means a lot to me. Like, this is stuff that I dreamed about. Being able to, like, do what I love as a career and make money from it. I'm providing completely for myself. Like, I mean, I'm here on my own dollar, and that dollar is from art. It's not from anything that I'm not extremely proud of and happy with. So, think about that. Like, if I would have thought about that at 16, I would have barely believed it. Like, I probably would have needed a moment to sit, So think about the 5-year out version of that, and just feel that, and like, let yourself feel that you deserve that, and that's the actual case, right? And then all you have to do is not, okay, let me sit down and get a notebook and plan exactly how I'm going to do this. You won't figure it out, bro. You won't figure it out. The notebook is not going to help you. You just need to sit still. Or move, do whatever you're actually doing, but mentally be still. And mentally let yourself have the opening of getting the idea of what to do. Right? Because if your mind is completely full, it's like, imagine a container full of water, and it's just these thoughts flowing back and forth, and the water is actually completely full. But then you have like some kind of liquid gold, that wants to be poured into the container, but there's no space. It's full already, because you have tried to think of what you think is the best way to do it, but you don't know, bro. And you don't know. Try and sit down and plan it out. You don't know. Just try. You can't do it. And you shouldn't do it. It's not the way. People make their past their God. They look at it and they pray, They focus on it. They hyper-fixate on it. Oh, well, this partner treated me this way, so in the future, that's the only way, That's probably what I can get more of. And this could be subconscious too. But think about it. How much do you think about God in terms of, like, compared to how much you actually think of the past or the future? People pray to the future. They look to the future and they hope. Like, they greatly hope. That's another one right there. It must be close to LAX. Anyways, they worship it. They worship the past. They worship the future. It's like, there's a real God, Just look to him. He has the answers for you. It's not in the future. It's not in the past. And guess what? Even if the answers are in the future, that means they'll never come. Because the only time it'll actually even come to you is going to be in the present by the time it's there. So what are we doing? You know what I mean? What exactly is the play here? And people make a lot of things their gods. A lot of people make sex their God. They They base their self-worth on just these things, whether it's sex or, it's just these things that just don't matter. Like, these things that are just that. They're just things. They're just sectors. They're aspects. And you could really fixate on them. So people make sex their God. Some people make a flex their God. If you're really stuck in the past, make your ex your God. But it's like, just be here, man. Just actually be still. Don't focus on that stuff. That's only just a thing. And there's so much infinity in the present. It's like infinite. And a lot of times you'll have these desires. I think a big fall of just society in general is just like having disordered desires. But if you actually just kind of sit down for 10 minutes, just breathe and think about what do I really need? What's really wrong in this moment, in this exact moment? What's wrong? What do I need? You might find that the answer is nothing. You might find that the answer is something, but it's probably less than what you thought. Oh, I need this, I need that, I need that. And then you sit down, you're like, you know what? I really just need to be there for this family member right now, or whatever it is. You'll come to What I'm saying, bro, the answers are out there, and they will come to you if you let them. But you need to create the space for them to be here, and that just means being present. And the other thing is, like, this carries over into so many aspects of your life. It's actually crazy, because the only way someone can be attractive is by being present. You can have all the good looks, all the blessed genetics in the world. If you hate yourself, if you're a negative presence, if you don't inspire and try to bring out the best in others, it's like polishing brass on the Titanic, that saying. Nah, instead you should be like a mirror that's just reflecting light onto everybody and just making them feel the best about themselves. Not even intentionally. Just being so present and so calm and so still that they don't have to feel like they're walking on eggshells. They don't have to feel like, oh, if I mess up the wrong way, like, oh, if I say something the wrong way, this person's gonna judge me. Like, you know, certain people like this. It's just like a light almost emits from them, because they're not so analytical. They're not thinking about every step you're making and everything. So don't do that. It's the most attractive is just kind of be present, be still, calm, and confident. That's like the Jesus way. It's literally how Jesus was. So, yeah, I think that that's pretty much all I have to say on it. Don't be afraid to silence your mind. It doesn't make you dull. It doesn't make you, your thoughts, you're not going to stop thinking. You know what I mean? Don't worry about, like, they're not going anywhere. It's okay to just not have thoughts. It's okay to have, like, a thought and then just not engage with it. You can see, like, you know what I mean? Oh, I actually like, I like this flower on this tree. And then maybe you're like, oh, I don't know the name of it. Or maybe you're like, oh, I do know the name of it. And then that could be the end of the thought. But if you continue with that thought, you'll just continue with it, until somehow you've created some kind of pathway of, like, my life is awful. Like, if you continue with any thought long enough, it'll pretty much end up there. I don't know exactly why that is. Or it'll end up in some, even more disordered ego place of just, like, you know what I mean? Like, this just goes to, like, don't look in the mirror too long. Don't look at yourself, like, too much. You know what I mean? Just, like, be with yourself. How you look in the mirror, it's just, like, again, it just doesn't matter. It's the energy. People are attracted. When I said attractive before, I wasn't just talking about physically, but people get attracted magnetically to that kind of energy. So yeah, as far as practice, as far as, like, call to action goes, what can you actually do? Just go outside, sit for 10 minutes and just breathe. Just try to deepen your breath. You can watch videos on that. And don't engage with any thoughts. That's the other thing. Don't be judgmental about your thoughts. Don't be like, oh, I shouldn't be thinking about that. Like, just, no. Whatever thought comes, acknowledge neutrally and then move it forward. Don't sit on it. Don't. Just ponder it. And just do that. And just throughout your day, focus on not being judgmental to your thoughts, to other people, to how they move, to how yourself moves. It's just not a nice place to be judgmental, bro, because honestly, that's just not our responsibility. Like, that's his responsibility. And let him have it, because it's not fun. Instead of judging, just be. Like, it's hard to put into words, but just kind of be. You don't have to do specifically so much in your mind, like. And that's the thing too about, like, oh, but if I do this, I'm just gonna be like a monk walking around, and I'm not gonna, like, progress in my career or anything. It's like, nah, you will. Even more. Way, way more. Because again, it goes back to, you just don't know what the best way for you to get yourself up is. But if you just but if you just feel that goal that you have, and you really, really feel it, and you feel that it's a part of you, and you feel that it is you, it's not even gonna come as thoughts. It's gonna come as an idea. Do this. Or like, I'll just get this idea, like, of this shirt. And it's just this crazy shirt that people haven't even thought of, and it's so different. Or, you know, this piece of art, whatever it is. And I'll just be like, you know what I mean? If I make that, and I make it successfully, that's genius. Like, that will raise my level in every way. And that's where genius comes from. People aren't geniuses just by sitting in a room and just thinking of what to do. People are geniuses by being still and letting those ideas come. Creating the space, the Zen garden, you know what I mean, for those ideas in your head. It's a lot of words, you know. We don't always need words. We don't always need words going through in our head. It's nice to just be there. It makes you pure. Words can honestly distill your purity. Instagram too. That's what I was saying. When people make a flex their God, like, just go up on Instagram and, like, really think about, what do you give more attention to in your day, like God or Instagram, or God or Twitter, or even, you know, just like presence or Twitter. Like, God is you know what I mean? I know it's a buzzword that gets a lot of people off, but whatever. Don't focus on flexing, bro. Focus on making everybody else's life better. That's the best thing that you can do. And it'll make you feel the best, and it'll make them feel the best. Everybody wins, bro. Nobody really likes to flex. It only just makes a lot of people insecure a lot of the time. So, I think that's all I have to say about it. I think we'll start it off just how it started. With that plane. Talk to you soon.